See, Freemason worship is directly linked to Hermes. Hermes Mercurius Trismegistus. Hermes' son is Pan. Now, why that is so important is because on February 13th, 14th, and 15th, in old ancient times of Greek and Roman times, the festival that would happen was called Lupercalia on February 13th, 14th, and 15th. It's not a one-day festival. So 4 or 5 years ago, I brought this to the attention of another channel called True Crime Jesus. I completely fucked it all up. He didn't present a lot of the information that I had, and it's taken me this long, and I'm still continuing to fight really stupid people out there with no intuition that never bothered to sleuth anything. Pan is the son of Hermes, son of, you can call him Odin. For all I care, I don't really care what the fuck you call him. Call him an asshole, son of asshole. I don't care what you call him. But this is what directly relates to the February 13th, 14th, and 15th traditions of Freemason secrecy, what it is that it is in the background they are worshiping. So, explain not just this tree pose, but this. Liberty was talking about waiting for a Peter Pan to come and take her away to Never Never Land, right? This is somebody that was involved in the murder, in luring one, if not both of these girls to would eventually be found February 14th. Now, the reason you could look at it as the sons of Odin is because Thoth was merged with Hermes to make this character they Freemasons worship known as Hermes Mercurius Trismegistus, the thrice born, or thrice great. So you have a direct link now to Odin worship because Thoth can be directly linked to Odin through cultural identification within, one was in Egypt, one is in Scandinavia, but you have, they're both magicians, they're both within magic, they're both shapeshifters, they're both creative within the language of what they had created, language, written language. So this is what ties into that direct relation as the sons of Odin, the sons of Hermes. The sons of Hermes would be Pan. Pan, on February 13th, 14th, and 15th, had an ancient tradition festival known as Lupercalia. Now, I've been trying, like I said, to fight this for 5, 6 years to get this into the minds, into the heads of people out there, but I've had to fight people with literally no intuition. They don't know how to fucking sleuth. They think they're so much smarter than everybody else. But when they go and talk to people that are locals, they come back with, well, it's a ritual, it's a cult, it's Freemasons, it's this. Just recently heard, I think his name's Justin's, I know who he is, Justin Woodhouse. He was talking about it. What about the Williams guy? I can't remember his name. Eric Williams. One of the searchers was talking about finding bones in the trees, skulls that were placed into the forks of trees during the search for these two girls before they found. So they came upon what he believed what looked to be a site of some form of cult worship. We had Julian Powell talking about a pagan group cult that was most likely involved and responsible. We had people out there like Randy Gravitt. These people know the truth, but they're scared shitless, but they're not willing to use this as some form of ammunition against the community for what it is, their ignorance. Like, hey, you're local, you know something. Maybe if I get close enough over a long period of time, maybe you'll start to, maybe if I keep donating to you, you'll see my loyalty to you that at some point, right? Because we have many slips by these types of people talking like, well, if we talk about that, we'll all end up dead around here. And since this crime has happened, a lot of people have been ending up dead about talking about this crime, investigating this crime, exposing themselves, to the community for the right reasons, and things happening to them for the fact that there's obviously somebody covering all of this up. If one person in Canada can come across all of this within the past 4 or 5 years, and yet you're telling me all of these agencies and all of these departments couldn't find that piece of paper on Richard Allen? Now, I'm not saying, here's the thing. Everybody wants to say, this guy's crazy because he thinks Richard Allen's innocent. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying the state put on a case in which I do not believe they provided any evidence to show he is guilty. When you go back and listen to the interviews with Jerry Holman, there are many things in that interview that should have been done and that were not done properly. When he mentions that he knew Dan McCain, this is the direct link. This is the link. He knows the people that are associated to being there at the crime scene at the time the girls go missing that are directly linked to radicalization of their ideology within utilizing, Kundalini by Dan's brother David, who has claimed as children they would kill animals, they would put them in a room, they would fucking pose these animals for days or weeks on end until their mom made them get rid of them. And then they would go out and repeat this process of killing animals. And then when you listen to his transcripts in his Kundalini fucking work, he talks about, oh, I never thought much about animals before and this and that. But this starts to show you the psyche of somebody that is completely fucking psychotic and is radicalized himself within a community that looks at him, he thinks he's a fucking god. So he has brainwashed these people. For these people, I don't hate anybody anymore. I'm learning to put my hatred aside. It has nothing to do with me, but that doesn't take away the fact that what it has been discovered and what it is that you've hidden is the truth. And the truth will prevail in this matter. So I'm not here to judge you any longer. I've let my judgments be known. I don't think it's right. I think it's wrong. I have other opinions besides that at times I have shared with you, but the truth of the matter of the fact is that what has been told is not the truth on the side of the state. What is being discovered underneath the state's nose, right underneath them, and they're watching and they're listening and they see it all and they're hiding it and they're putting people in place and removing people and deleting people off of this earth that might not be somebody that's going to agree or get in the way of what it is that they are attempting to do, which is create a form of a lone wolf character that nobody else would be any form of responsibility on. The fact of the matter is, it's already out there. People, when somebody in Canada this fucking far away can fucking start to figure it out and start to realize what's actually happening, I know for a fact there must be hundreds of citizens in that community that know what happened. My concern is what's happened to them. Because now I'm like, I can understand you've been victimized by your own. So I can't imagine the situation that you all live under, but for those that have taken it to give themselves some form of ammunition to hold this over other people, this information. There was other ways to get this out there. You know, it didn't take just one person like to finally step up and say, fuck it, let's just go after it and figure out everything what it is. When you guys are right there, you guys knew what it was from fucking day one, from when the crime happened. You all knew what happened. You all knew who was involved. You all could have had it. If 3 or 4 of you would have came out of the woods and actually had said something and done the right thing, you didn't have to call the FBI. You didn't have to call the police. You could have made reports, even like what I'm doing here online. Have it documented so it's at least being shared with somebody else that can retain the information. Do you think I'm gonna call the fucking FBI or the fucking police department and tell them this is what I know? Because I've done my own preliminary research and investigation into this, and it's led me into something that I can conclude as being 100% the mitigate the factors. This is what it is within the pattern of the crime. So Justin, I guess there was Justin Woodhouse is talking recently. And he's talking about why I'd have to see what the stars were doing. And what do you think I was showing you guys? I already have all this information retained. It was moving within the alignment of Mercury between the sun and the earth and Jupiter, because of the fact that Jupiter can be recognized, is it Jupiter recognized as Zeus? Gaia was the mother of Hermes. So between Zeus and Gaia, right, Earth, came Hermes, which can be looked at as Mercury, which was the planet in alignment, which was, then they claimed that comet from the Mercury comet, that was the car. So do you understand that this is like a complete inside operation by the people that have even been put in place, even during the trial? They're trying to hide everything with it, you know, but by putting it in plain sight and utilizing a lot of this, it has been very subliminal to the identity and worship within their ideology, right? The wings on the formed hat. Do you know what the wings are? The wings on the formed hat are the wings that were on the hat of Mercury. Go up and look this stuff up because he was so fast. They said they had wings on his hat. This is like them laughing at all of you, right? And there's so many layers to that. It's insulting. It is insulting, but this is one of their jokes, inside jokes, as knowing that what it is that was behind all of this, they're able to utilize these subliminal comments that are these some types of inside jokes that have to do with the ideology worship of what you could call Odinism, what you could call Freemason worship, which is within Hermes, that ties into Thoth, that can be looked at as Odin. Think about that and look it up for yourself online.